Can you give us a little bit of details, kind of just about your background? Tell us just like maybe a little bit about yourself.
I got like interested in working with robotics specifically since I started doing a lot of robotics courses in middle school and high school. And my junior and senior year, I went to community college for mechanical engineering. So that's sort of my background in doing mechanical and robotics work.
Before you got on board with Unmudl and took some courses, can you tell me about what you were doing before? Maybe just like in your like professional life, or like what did your work life look like? Maybe even that segue into taking the courses.
Well, before Amazon, I worked at like pretty much just customer service jobs. Nothing that was really a career to me. I didn't know Amazon had like a career choice option until I started working there. I thought it was just a warehouse job that you kind of would be stuck in, and there was no way to move up. So I was surprised when they had so many different options to choose from, where you could go to any college that was underneath their career choice program or go through their like Unmudl program, which I had no idea you could take.
Can you talk about like your experience with the course? And I think you took two courses, if I remember right. Is that correct?
Yeah, I took the mechatronics and robotics course, the beginner one and the tech 2 one, and now I'm taking the control systems technician course.
What were like your impressions of the intro course?
The intro course is pretty much just all the basics, just getting into learning how to read basic electrical schematics, how they work, a lot of basic mechanical knowledge. So if you're going in with no idea or you have no clue where to start off at, that's the best course to start with.
What about the level two course that you took? Can you talk about like kind of like what that course was like?
That was a lot more in depth. It definitely surprised me with the like amount of animations they had. It really helped me understand a lot of the material that was being taught. It was easier to understand, especially using the motor virtual trainer too, which pretty much is exactly in line with the apprenticeship program. If you do decide to go for 3 months in person, it's the exact same
Right.
system.
Like, how did you find time to take the course? Did you just do it in like your spare time, or how did you manage that?
I pretty much just did it like any days that I had off, I would do it because with Amazon, you work 4 days a week, so you get 3 days off. I pretty much spent all of my time just working on these courses because I wanted to be a robotics technician. That's where all my time went towards taking the courses.
Do you remember how long it took you to finish the courses?
I think it took me maybe a month and a half, somewhere around there. I pretty much spent like my 3 days off just constantly doing the courses. So, but I think in their description, it should take about 3 months if you do it 8 hours a week.
How do you feel like the course actually helped you stand out to get this job?
It helped a lot, especially when they asked questions about, VFTs, variable frequency drives, some electrical questions, have you had experience with troubleshooting electrical circuits? And it helped to have that experience through the online course show that I have knowledge in those areas. And I also brought up in the interview that I'm taking the control system course, so our management at CNW knows that I want to apply for the controls position.
As far as being on the job, like doing your duties, how do you feel like the course prepared you to actually like excel at the job?
It definitely prepares you to, you're going to be doing a lot of troubleshooting, especially on a robotics side. Like you're going to get a lot of errors with drives, and it's not going to tell you just plain out like what the issue is. You're going to have to really do a lot of troubleshooting to figure out where the issue is coming from. And especially with the RSAW stations, you're going to have to figure out how to work with the photo eyes and their HMI panels on the RSAWs. It helped me understand how to use those systems.
But can you just talk maybe just a little bit about the support of like the skills to job guide? So that's Lori and her team, and
Mhm.
just kind of how much that they can help prepare people as they're going in to pursue these jobs.
They've been great. Every single time that I've brought up a question, they've been able to answer within like a day or less than a day. She's pretty much helped me walk through every single step of the process, including making my application, submitting it, along with helping me with the interview process. I've had no complaints so far. Including with helping me get the controls course, which was amazing. She didn't have to do that, but she wants to see me succeed, and also help you guys grow with your third party companies as well.
What exactly is your role right now? What's like the formal kind of title for it?
I think they just switched everybody's role title to mechatronics and robotics technician, but I'm just a robotics technician at Amazon.
What's like your day in the life like as a robotics tech?
The first thing you always check is your daily PMs for the day. So most of the time you'll get drive units that have 52-week PMs, which includes bringing them into the cage, and then you have to lift them up using a lifter. You inspect the wheels on the drive, clean it out, inspect connections, put it back together, put it on the floor, and just PMs on stations, basic cleaning and inspection PMs. Once you're done with that, then you work on trouble tickets that have been opened for a day or two. So you'll have drives that have issues that haven't been resolved yet, stations that still need new fans or new SSD cards that need to be installed. That's pretty much like what my day-to-day work is there.
What about the schedule? I think you mentioned you work 4 days a week. Like, so do you have consistent hours? Like, do you always go in at the same time? Does it alternate?
It's consistent. It's pretty much just consistent as Amazon, where you're coming in at exact time. Their schedule never changes. I'm working back half nights, which is I come in at 9:30 to 8 a.m., which pretty much just because we need coverage for night shift. They told me when I got hired on or during my interview that they need people for nights. So they were pretty much just straightforward for what my schedule would be before I got hired on, which was good that they just told me instead of waiting until after I got hired. Yeah, my schedule just stays exactly the same. I work Wednesday through Sunday.
What's like the manual labor like as a robotics tech? Like, is it strenuous on your body at all? Or is it pretty mild?
I'd say it's mild. I mean, you really do have to get used to walking around the AR floor a lot. So there's definitely a lot of walking. You got to make sure you get good insoles and good boots before you come into work. I think the most like weight you're really going to push is if you have a drive that won't power on, that you're going to have to take them back to the cage. And they're not super heavy. Like I'm pretty skinny and I can just push them back to the cage.
What's like the I guess like the camaraderie like in an Amazon site like that? Are people kind of laid back? Are they kind of serious? I mean, is there any kind of joking on the job? Is it like, I mean, what's the kind of the vibe?
I'd say it's pretty laid back. I mean, nobody's really that serious at our site unless you're in the middle of doing a job. Then yeah, you're gonna have to pay attention, make sure you bring the right tools, grab the right parts. But when we're not doing that, I mean, these guys pretty much just joke around all the time.
So if there's someone that was thinking about taking an Unmudl course, maybe like the same ones that you did, would you have any thoughts, any advice that you would give them?
I'd say definitely take your time taking the course. Make sure you study hard because it's a lot of information to take in at once. Same with even if you're doing the MRA apprenticeship or doing the online Unmudl program. Either one, you can't just really just skip through it and hope to get the position. You really do have to study hard to get into it. And it's a very competitive position to get into because a lot of people will apply for the apprenticeship or the Tech 2 position and just not even get a response back. But it's definitely one of the best online programs that I've taken because I've taken online courses while I was in high school for like economy and history, and you're just reading through text all day and not having any visual aid. And it's been great having the animations as well as having to actually design circuits on the motor virtual control trainer.